Hello and welcome back, everybody, as we are prepared for Game 3 to decide the winner of this series. Cincinnati Fear take Game 1, Supernova take Game 2. Unfortunately, we weren't able to capture the end of that, but I think we can all kind of guess how that one would have played out. Smolder got to late game. The Dragon stacking was there for Supernova, so that means that now our eyes are going to be set on the future. And most importantly, Cubby, our eyes are going to be set on the Fearless Draft system because a reminder, you can only play champions once in a series for each team. That brings us to our Subway best of 3 sidekick. We get to talk about the champion that we think is going to be the most impactful going into this Game 3. Now, Cubby, you've got some time to think about it, so I want to give you the opportunity to start it off because I'm not going to lie, I have not thought too hard about it. So talk me through it. Sell me on your Subway best of 3 sidekick.
There's been no Azir yet in this series, and one of the teams has picked Talia. I think Azir is going to be a big one. Yeah.
Okay.
So she hasn't really played it a lot. Toasty can play it. It would be his most played if he played it again. I think it might be Azir. No, it has not been banned. Ori's been banned.
Okay, so no Azir bans, no Azir picks. Syndra cannot be played on either side. So you're saying your Subway best of 3 sidekick is Azir. Do you still think that Azir is good enough in this meta, though, right now? I know we're a couple patches past when it was, like, the most popular.
He's fine. You know, he's still Azir. Okay. It's good to be Azir in your life. Always. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
You
get a little chicken on your sandwich there?
Yeah, you're a mobile carry, you know? It's fine. If we're going to go for the out there picks, Acel. Acel's back this patch. Oh. And with some mids being, taken out, I think Acel's playable. But I'm going to stick with the Azir. We're going to stick with our first gun, you know?
All right, I like it. So yeah. Cubby's best 3 sidekick is Azir. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go a little more
Mr.
out
Stallworth.
there. There is a champion that has been locked in once on this page that you can see, and I want to see it a second time. I actually want to see Volibear brought back, baby. Okay. Give me the opposite side Volibear. So it was Chad that played it in game number 1. So my best of 3 Subway sidekick is going to be Volibear specifically for Kenvi. I liked what it did in game 1. It didn't have as explosive of an early game as I was expecting, as we kind of like were hyping it up and really getting excited for it. It's like, oh, look at the ball lane. It could dive turrets and all this stuff. It was a little slower, but when it came time to the mid-game team fights and controlling the grubs, controlling the dragons, it actually did step up huge. So yeah, I want to see more Volibear, and Kenvi's the only one that can play it. So it's going to be my Subway best of 3 sidekick pick specifically for Kenvi.
Yeah, I know it's Fearless Draft, but I interpreted that like Kenvi's the only one that like has the hands to play it real quick, and I'm like, oh yes, Volibear.
The chosen one.
Yes, it's the hands are very much required to play Volibear, guys. We need them. We need all of them.
You have to press Q, and then you have to press W.
Yep. You gotta line up your E.
Cursor doesn't really move from either of those. So, you know, actually, I'm seeing your point. Maybe it's not. But for the availability, it's definitely over to Kenvi. That's our Subway best of 3 sidekick picks. Let us know who you think should be picked in the draft, as I'm hearing that we are ready to hop into draft any second now for game number 3.
So as an update, game number 2, Supernova won, and you know they sent Fear and the end of that VOD to a black hole in the galaxy, as we unfortunately were not able to pick up that one, just given whatever is going on.
Is that Smolder's new ability? Was there like a rework that Smolder now once you hit 225, the game just kind of like ends on its own?
Blue screen, yeah.
Yeah.
just how it is, you know. But yeah, so you know, thanks to everyone for making sure I have Lost VODs review tonight. As we're just gonna cut one short, but hopefully we get full tape on this one. As I'm curious,
no stream plug.
No, you can.
It's right there. It's right there. You can see it. You can see it
later. I'm curious to see how this one wraps up, because that was a little bit of an anticlimactic game 2, but it has been a fun series so far.
Yeah, and I think that it's important to note that some of the sidekicks we were talking about not banned away here so far. It's very similar bans from games 1 and 2.
Ooh,
so the play's taken off the table. That's a kind of newer one, but otherwise still a lot of focus on the bot lanes.
So Fear, they've been red side for both games. They took blue. They actually banned the Ashe themselves, which I find interesting, but Nico keeps on being denied from Toasty. Toasty, a very good Nico player. But with the Ori for Toasty, so I'm wondering if this opens up a potential just basic Azir answer for Shochi, or if we get something else that he has up his sleeve, because Ori has been banned the first 2 games, and now getting through still a very strong mid laner, especially with a lot of the mids not able to be picked later in our Fearless Draft format.
Yeah, especially considering that your red side not banning the Ori this time around. I'm kind of surprised to see that. It makes me think Shochi must have a counter, because if you leave it up, expectation is Fear will draft that blue one. Nocturne's also a combo that they could try and pair with it still if they want to go for that tried and true classic, but it's going to be Kalista Renata for Supernova's bot lane.
I think we might see Wednesday Option go for Zaya Rakan, Lucian Milio. Just power pick the bot lane. I would really like a Zaya Rakan because then you can pair it up with Nocturne, Wukong later on. If you are worried about getting that duo, you could take one of those junglers now. Chad does love the Nocturne. He showed that throughout the season so far, so it is still an option, but the answer is in the Kalista. I think it's going to be Zaya Rakan.
Okay, good
And
read
you know
there,
what?
Cubby. So we're
They
focused on the
locked
bot
it
side.
in so that the wallpapers line up. Thank you, Fear. You know, we can't have Rakan into Zaya. We must get the wallpapers to line up, you know?
They line up so perfectly.
True lovers duo.
You know, as I say that, it's not actual perfectly, but it's close enough.
There's a
black
black
right
line,
there.
but it's fine. It's the same wallpaper. It's pretty. You know, we like that.
I do love it. We need to get more champs like that. Can we get more? Maybe, are there any other skins that even do that?
I mean, they could have done it with Santa Lucian, but then there was the whole storyline about Thresh Lantern or whatever, so that's fine.
True.
Aatrox will be locked in here for Faisal. Bit of a deny from Philip, and now 2 bans to help with the top lane matchup, but they're actually going to deny jungle pairings with the Orianna. I think this is smart. My problem is that you have Vi, Wukong, and Nocturne. They're all very easily pairable with Ori, so like even banning one out, like that's... one of them is going to get through, and I think Wukong is really good this game. But I think they're going to probably take away Nocturne, and Wukong goes over to Fear unless it ends up being picked up by Supernova, which is still an option.
I actually kind of like Wukong more than Nocturne at this point.
Yeah,
It's
I think
so
Wukong's
hard for
really strong
Kalista
now.
to operate with a Wukong rather, ulting on top
Wukong,
of you. Like
Rakan,
there's
too.
just nowhere to go.
Yeah, Rakan, I mean, we saw this combo like all of last season. So it's one that teams are picking back up because Wukong did see some buffs on the last patch. I think Wukong's in a really good spot right now. So, okay, instead, they're going to let the Wukong and the Nocturne through. Jax being banned. I
suppose
Jax
if
is
you're
good
thinking like you can't take away both of the big picks, I don't hate this, right? You say, you know, they can take their choice, but let's at least get Faisal a better matchup.
They get rid of the point and click in the buy, which, I mean, that's reasonable, right? But I think every one of those picks brings something unique to the table. Overall, it thematically does the same thing. TF being taken away from Shoshi, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Shoshi does like his split push builds. Opportunity for him, though, I mean, they could go for something like Tristana here and set up an AP jungler. If Kenby really wants, he knows it's the Ori matchup, and Shoshi does love his Tristana.
Yeah, we're expecting that so that we can get that mid lane counter. But, I mean, honestly, the mid lane counter could just come right now. I don't hate the idea of just Kenby going for a jungler. Oh, it's Yone as the counter into the Orianna.
Yeah, I mean, it does set up Kenby for an AP jungler. I'm curious. I mean, Talia's not on the board, and it's instantly... Wait, Wukong plus Rengar? It's Wukong top, Philip?
Yeah, Wukong top,
Whoa.
and then Chad playing the Rengar. Presumably, this is going to be Chad's second Rengar game.
Okay,
This
Wukong
NACL
top.
split.
I mean, Wukong top, this is something that Philip actually played really early on in his career, like when he first came onto the scene. It's playable for him. I haven't seen it in a while, but a lot of the buffs were more focused on Wukong top itself. So I'm really curious to see this actually be picked up and locked in.
Into the Aatrox. I mean, I don't know
It's
the
an old
matchup
counter.
by heart,
I
but
used
I'm
to play it.
imagining it's going to be easy enough to dodge those sweet spots,
It
right?
is. I actually really like this matchup for Wukong. This used to be my pick in Aatrox when like Wukong was better in solo queue, because you can get out of the chains and the sweet spots really easily, and pretty much you're just saving your W to either like make sure you're getting out of the third queue, because that's the big damage, and it's really easy to get on top of Aatrox. You get extra armor as Wukong, and your passive it feels really good against Aatrox. You can go for Tiamat and get a lot of push in the Aatrox. You can hit the wave. You have access to it with your attack speed. It's a really nice matchup. So I'm really curious to see Philip actually bring it out. I haven't seen top Wukong in a long time, but it makes a lot of sense this game. I think it's a really good pick.
It's exciting, but I also want to bring our attention to the Rengar
Chad
in
Rengar.
the jungle for Chad. This is going to be
Chad's
not even the first Rengar game. Yeah, this is the second Rengar game of the split, but still exciting regardless. Another ball delivery system. A lot of damage you're packing against relatively squishy carries you're looking at here. Cincinnati Fear never fail to deliver when it comes to draft, as they will try to deliver a series win here against Supernova with also a very fun
The
draft.
Rengar was a game 3 as well, which I find fun. I will say...
I mean, that's most Fear games, right?
It is. I think that Sejuani was a good pick and answer here. You can actually really pressure mid Supernova will be low on the magic damage, which is important to note. That is really good for Philip. Again, you get passive armor as Wukong. Philip is very happy about this.
I mean, yeah, every time I look at Yone, I'm like, but he does, every other auto attack does AP. I'm like, no, it doesn't do that much damage.
It's not significant enough.
Invade comes in from here, Supernova. They drop a ward over that buff wall, so they'll at least see where Chad is not starting in the early game. Now, let's set the stage here, Cubby. Let's think about where we can expect action to happen early on. We've reacted to some of the individual picks, but how does it all come together? Paint me the picture.
I think you leave top lane in isolation. I think it's very important that Supernova are able to focus on the solo lanes. I think Sejuani could visit top, but if I'm Fear, I leave top and I'm playing towards bot to punish this Kalista with the Xayah plus Rakan.
It is a powerful combo that Lens and Daption have. Lens and Daption have also demonstrated the ability to outperform in the 2v2, or even the 1v2 in Lens's case, as he had the Kalista in that game number 1, which is crazy considering going into the day. I know that I brought up the point with you. I was like, okay, I know Joshi heavily believes that Scary Jerry, all these first names, Scary Jerry and Zyko are the best bot lane in the league here. Supernova, I think, were the contenders, I would say, or potentially joining that conversation. The fact that Lens and Daption have had this kind of performance in the series, really good for them.
You can see the interaction there with Philip as he W'd through. Now, he doesn't actually have his Q yet, which is where a lot of his damage is at, where I expect Philip to max. But he does have push. This is not setting up well. Philip's in big trouble here.
Could be in trouble.
He is in
gets
big
the knock
trouble.
up.
He got level 3. It's
level
important.
3,
He's
but
got no
here comes
W.
Kenvi.
W and 2.
Okay. Oh, Philip's trying to bait them out. Has to flash away. Arctic is full forward from Kenvi. He gets the stun. He's locked down. One more auto should have it. Hey, first blood to Faisal.
Oh, and Faisal gets out as well. As you can see, Philip was kind of trying to bait it a little bit. He didn't have that W quite up off cooldown, so he was trying to play some mind games. Not the case, though. Holds the flash a little bit, and that's a really expensive gank for Philip. Not the way that you wanted this matchup to go. Chad was pathing away from top. Kenvi pathing up towards there. You have the ability to really focus on your solo lanes here with the Sejuani, and Supernova cashing in on that early.
Yeah, Sejuani having double melee lanes in the top half of the map. You said maybe mid lane would be the focus, but if you're given the window to go for that top lane play, you're going to take it. Kenvi is spotted now as he's respawned and hit to the bot side. We'll take away this Scuttle Crab.
And Chad
just continued farming up.
He looked at the blue buff there, but wasn't able to get it. Kenvi immediately based, came back. Bot lane actually walked up to hover, so good play by Supernova to protect Kenvi's camps, and he's really far ahead of the Rengar right now, which is important.
Ahead from that assist there, has more camps to clear. Chad currently ahead in just raw clear itself, and is actually going for a bot lane gank potentially. Maybe just hovering because they know Kenvi was around there. They don't see where Kenvi is currently. Yeah, watch for Chad. He's just going to go for the back. Yeah, I think it's just a hover here in case Kenvi shows up.
Yeah, Kenvi shouldn't show up. If he does, they would lose that. So 3v3. It's a good play from Kenvi to not worry about that. He's going to just hit his camps. Gets the respawn camps on the top side too. And Kenvi's game feels really good right now.
Has already caught back up. Hasn't gone for as big of a back. Went for the back for the ruby crystal itself. But now Chad does have the pickaxe. So there's a tiny window here, even if Chad's behind in clear, that Chad does have just more stats purchased than Kenvi. We'll see if that actually means much on the map here as he's going for the top scuttle. Kenvi will walk up. Doesn't have the red buff, only has the blue. He smite that away. I couldn't actually tell who got that one. Chad comes back in, gets the stun onto Kenvi. So he secures the scuttle and gets a good trade onto the enemy jungler. But Shochi's here. I don't think Chad can actually do much more. I mean, Toasty's super low on mana. Chad, this is really aggressive. Yeah, he's got to run away.
He is kind of helping his mid get reset in, as the Yone was actually pretty far delayed here. So TP will come in first for Chad.
Okay.
I think that he could look Thrubs, but top lane's behind now. And that's going to be really tough because, again, this is a matchup where I think Wukong has significant pressure on Aatrox, like around the level 6 mark. Because if you pop your ult, your Wukong is so strong. And I think the game plan of this matchup is like to go for something like... Oh, hold on.
Okay, big plan to Daption. Nah, he's good.
I'm curious to see what Philip ends up building. I think he has some options, but I would assume that Sundered Sky is probably in there. if he wants to go for the dueling. And, you know, he's behind on the curve on items like that. He only has a longsword to his name, and Faisal's walking back with steel caps, which feels really bad as Wukong. So Aatrox in really good shape off that first gank from Kenvi. I think that was a great read from Supernova. This is a matchup, you know, we haven't seen a lot of in comp. It's definitely one that, like, I'd expect legacy Aatrox players to understand, but it's not recent. I think that Faisal and Kenvi had a really good understanding of the window that they could use to get Aatrox ahead in that matchup, where he's going to be able to do okay.
Yeah, he's doing great in the 1v1. Yeah. Even if Chad roams up there, the steel caps alone just provides such efficient defensive stats against the Rengar as well. So it's going to be tough to shut down Faisal at this point. But right now we're looking at the Dragon as Fear have priority in the bot lane. Their jungler's not quite there, as Supernova were maybe looking like starting it, but back off.
And Lens Daption, I mean, game 1 they showed up, and Lens found that the 1v2 kill as the Kalista himself, but this time around, that Kalista Renata's ahead a little bit, and that's going to be really nice. I think the big window for Xayah is really the Kraken Slayer and Devori completions. Xayah can be really strong and just raw DPSing down the Kalista. But until then, at the moment, Diamond and the Ray are a little bit ahead and where I expect for them to be in this matchup, and that's just really good.
Impressive stuff. Yeah. Envy is spotted as he's hovering his bot lane that has that 10 CS advantage, trying to get this wave shoved in so they can look at the Dragon. Fear will know that the enemy is having this plan. So what does Chad want to do with that information? We already talked about difficult to dive the Aatrox.
Yeah, just go take Sedge's top camps. That's got to be the play here. Get Chad, get the Rengar ahead itself, and then hope that the Rengar plus the Ori gets big enough where you're one-shotting people off your ult combo, and from there, you can really try and snowball the game. Because if Rengar gets ahead and gets fed, I mean, Rengar is really big. And I know that Rengar did see some more recent nerfs to kind of take away some of that, but Chad's good enough in the pick where he can play around it. He'll be just fine.
He has the same read. Going for that red buff, I assume we'll look at the Krugs, but if he does go for the Krugs, Faisal's going to be right there. In fact, it's taking a while to get this red buff as well. Okay, does he look for more? They don't see where Faisal is. Okay, he actually finds a window to get in there.
Nicely done. Chad. And there was a ward on the Raptors, so Kenvi's going to at least take away Chad Raptors, as Toasty has the flash.
Why not take away a flash while you're at it? Yeah.
But Kenvi is only going to get this camp, and now Rengar ult pops.
Flash engage coming in from Philip. Jumps in, gets the root onto Faisal in a lot of trouble. No flash available anymore. Flash forward from Chad. One more auto should get it. There it is. Fear with their first kill of the game.
Wukong is able to attack the Aatrox. Talked about how this is the timer that Wukong's strong, down in items, but the visit from Chad makes it work.
And just the one set of plated steel caps almost got Faisal out of there, but not quite enough. There's the shockwave from Toasty, looking for the 1v1 against Shochi.
Good
but
dodge.
Now comes the Fate Seal.
Oh,
a lot of damage. Oh, the turn actually took him down. Shochi falls. Toasty's alive.
Oh, man. I think Shochi honestly played that beautifully until he took the tower shot. Once he takes that tower shot, guaranteed death. That's really big that Toasty was able to take that, because it looked to me like he was dead.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Fate Sealed land, I thought that was over. But he just goes a little too far. Shochi even had flash available.
Oh, man.
And just gets a little over zealous, I'd say. Let's get another look at it.
And Toasty's going for the ult trade here. It's a beautiful E from Shochi, though, to back out on this damage. And, I mean, I thought he had it right here, but ult's in. That's 2D. Fate Sealed takes the tower shot. Toasty makes sure to get the autos down to make sure that Shochi falls. Well played by Toasty. A little bit of a miscalculation there from Shochi and Kenvi, and that's the third game in a row where they've tried to go for a play mid and they've died in the process.
That's important to highlight there.
In the
Toasty
1v2.
just keeps catching these plays. It was Toasty that started off the aggression, to be fair. It was Shockwave had used initially to try and get that big trade onto Shochi.
After he lost his flash to gank,
Yeah, true. But, yeah, I mean, still, Toasty's going to feel good about how the last early games of the 3 games has gone. We did see Lens get a plate bot side. Kenvi's back onto the Grubs. This would be all Grubs. Got all 3 the first time around because of the priority that Faisal created. And Faisal has not fallen behind Philip in the 1v1 here, so still is creating that pressure to allow Kenvi to go for these objectives.
It's funny because I was talking to Shochi before the game. He's like, once I stop dying like a bozo, it would be back to 1v9 king. And I feel like,
oh no,
Shochi, you got your death as a bozo out. It's time to 1v9 king again. You know, that's we love our NACL 1v9 king and Shochi. I mean, if you're a fan of Challengers, you'll know why we call him the 1v9 king. Is there were a lot of games last year that Shochi kind of solo carried. His Lens might have to get out of this dive.
This would be bold. I mean, he still has the ultimate available. He's waiting for the last second. It's call from Array. Philip teleported in. Array's in trouble. Split up from Diamond. Now Array's going to go down. Fear with the top lane teleporting in to turn the play. Mid lane, meanwhile, Fruit lands down.
Oh, Shochi.
Envy's in trouble. Shochi gets out of there.
Shochi.
Catch for the enemy jungler. Shochi, 1v9 king. Can he make it happen?
Shochi.
In a 1v2 right now. Double kill onto Toasty. Can't quite get onto Daption, but still, he'll take it.
Big plays across the map as it starts with a bot dive going way sideways for Supernova, but Shochi steps up in the mid lane, turns that play around as we're going to get the camera on that one. We missed it live. Kenvi going on the flashless Toasty, but he's got teammates there to help him out. Oh man, the combo from Toasty wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
So the shockwave misses on the Shochi. Chad gets caught by the ultimate from the Yone. Shochi played that wonderfully as the wait off from Toasty opened up the window for Shochi to take advantage of that fight, and he did.
Daption almost kept everybody alive there. Props to the Rakad pilot, also the only one to survive on the side of Fear, but Shochi just outplays his opponents, picks up a lot of gold in his pocket, and we can see right now topping the gold chart alongside Faisal here, who's still getting a mountainous lead over Philip in the 1v1. That is 40 CS up for the Aatrox.
I mean, the TP bot from Philip, I think, was arguably necessary, but yeah, he dropped a big wave for that. And with Toasty, going down, it wasn't like he could TP top to catch everything across the map, so a lot of resources lost. Supernova do have a small gold lead and, of course, have the dragon lead, and the second dragon spawning on the map here shortly. Shochi and Kenvi already setting their sights on this.
Chad does have a completed item, though. Kenvi does not. Shochi does not. So, arguably, we could see Fear taking this fight and having an advantage, but Daption just gets chunked out right there. I don't know if Fear has the confidence to go for this. Yeah, it's just going to be Dragon.
Yeah. I think Diamond and Array, I mean, they just had a pretty big oopsie on the bot side, but I think the rest of how they played out this lane has been pretty solid. And that will be the second dragon for the Callisto team. That is important. But now Chad's going in. He's going to have the ball.
Pops the ultimate, jumps onto Shochi, and body blocks the ultimate. Shochi's going to get pulled right back in. He might go down. Kenvi's going to try and keep him alive, but that's a shutdown to Philip.
And this is honestly, it's really interesting seeing how Fear is using Philip. Philip's just kind of a roam gang squad, man. He's playing jungle Wukong for the top lane. Finds the knockup, gets a piece of the kill there. As we were questioning what Philip would go for build-wise, looks like it's going to be the Trinity Force Rush for Philip. Definitely very side lane focused. Wukong can for sure abuse Trinity Force, just a more expensive item. We'll have the resource to do so in the top lane. Philip is cleaning up that wave himself. Plate goes to Toasty. And as plates fall, minus the two dragons, it's a pretty close game.
Speaking of the side lane, though, we saw the 6 grubs for Supernova. Every time Philip leaves that lane for plays like that, while it's cool to see, it's making impact happen.
That's true.
I mean, Faisal just took down 4 plates up there. Like, this Aatrox is monstrously ahead, and the grubs will just help him melt through these turrets, which traditionally, we don't really think of Aatrox, or at least I don't think of Aatrox as this big split pusher who's going to go for these, turret demolishes, but so far it's been working.
And if Philip's gonna, leave and TP, like he TP'd and then he walked, right? I know he's behind, and I think Philip did get some good stuff for his team, but yeah, that's when the 6 grubs really hurt.
Yeah, you're gonna get punished so much more every time you leave, and he's probably gonna lose the turret right here. I mean, he's got to go for a reset. Kenvi is actually on the bot side of the map.
That's big, because that'll be Profane Hydra completed for Faisal, and bot turret's falling as well, so Supernova off the back of plates falling, and these 6 grubs really cashing into the gold across the map.
I mean, in instances where the grubs are picked up by one team, we always ask, how easy is it going to be for them to hit turrets? Yeah. I would say Array and Diamond kind of outperforming. We set up that Lens and Daption with the Xayah Rakan should be able to hold that a little bit better, but they had not been able to, and Array and Diamond just kind of free firing on the turret over and over again. Maybe partly due to Daption leaving the lane so often.
I mean, the other thing is, like, Chad on the Rengar, right? Like, you're sometimes okay with dropping a couple early objectives if you can get yourself, ahead, because Rengar can really carry a game out from some game states. Chad is only, like, 10 CS up, right? It's not like the lead from Chad is worth everything that has been dropped. The Shoshi will catch the wave high, but He's got a
He's
good
gonna
squad
run
around
back.
him.
There is a Rengar waiting for him in the bush alongside Rakan behind it. Shochi will fall yet again. Just the magnet for Chad every single time.
And that's something that Supernova's going to have to play around. Yes, they have two side laners that can really push turrets in the Aatrox and especially the Yone. But this Rengar, he's able to find the skirmishes. He has an Eclipse. He's very strong in these fights. Shochi, even between turrets, was not able to get out of that one. So it'll be a turret trade and a kill for a Rift Herald. So Supernova continues to find the objectives. But that time around, Chad got something for himself, and that's good.
If the Rengar keeps getting fed, it is a concern for Supernova.
Yeah, it can be a problem.
Yeah, because it's great to have damage dealers in the Yone and the Callista, even in the Aatrox to an extent, but if you get to the point where Rengar's able to one-shot some of those squishier members, it is going to be much harder to play out. I will say at least they have a front line, as Kenby is demonstrating that right now, engaging onto Lens, but it doesn't mean too much. Daption goes back in. Daption taking a lot of damage, but Kenby can't frontline forever. Philip goes in. Big engage with a shockwave from Toasty, and Fear are making the play happen, but Faisal on the backline still survives. Shochi now trying to be the DPS as Faisal will finally fall. Flash forward from Philip, looking for the damage. Shochi's right there, but Chad lands the stun, getting onto Kenby as well. Double kill to Lens as the AD carry steps up.
Big fight from Fear. They used their circles against Supernova, who overextended through the choke. Couldn't really get anyone down. It was a split fight. I don't like this take from Supernova. I feel like this isn't really respecting the map. Shochi is trying to recover bot, and he doesn't have a TP, so you're opting into a numbers disadvantage. Philip was collapsing, and that's exactly what gets found. Shochi TP's late to the fight, and overextending into the choke, Supernova falls.
Yeah, Shochi would have rather just gotten the wave, corrected that, then maybe looked for the TP play after the fact. But you're right, Supernova, they just think that, I mean, based on how the last couple plays had gone, feeling a little invulnerable here, but we haven't seen Lens really in a fight yet, and if you let the Xayah free fire, she can do a lot of damage, let alone the Orianna combo with that Wukong.
I mean, saving grace right now for at least the side of Supernova, it's got to be Shochi. I know Faisal has got more gold. These solo laners need to step up. Shochi put that last fight really well, and I think that he has to be big in these fights. If he gets shut down, it could be bad. Also, I do want to highlight Toasty, 3-1-5, has completed his Zanyas. It'll be very important this game. Everyone's going to be pile diving onto this Orianna. Moment, Supernova pile diving onto their third dragon. Ocean Soul Point trying to be set up.
Fear are approaching a little slow, but they have a flank from Philip. Watch for the Cyclone. Watch for the Wukong. Watch for the Callista. Everyone jumping on top of Array, and Array's in trouble. Second knockup will land. Bailout, not quite there. No, he is! Array with the bailout from Diamond survives through it all. Faisal's free firing in the fight. Shochi as well. You said it would be down to the solo laners, and it is. Double kill though to Toasty. Can he still live? Knockup's big. Faisal's down. Array, can you free fire? Can you carry? Can you do it? No! Double kill over to Lens as Fear. They lose the dragon, but they win the team fight.
What a team fight from both sides. Is this game 3 kind of delivering here? Honestly, I don't know what happened with Supernova there because it was looking so close at so many different moments. Array surviving with the initial bailout was huge. I thought that got the fight in Supernova's favor. Honestly, this is so hectic. I don't even know where to focus. I need a second look because the engage is so good onto Array using the Wukong to get in. Array flashes to dodge out on Daption's initial follow-up. He goes so low. He gets a Rengar on him. He somehow survives taking down Daption. And I'm like, oh, this fight's good, right? They're able to peel back Array. They get Chad, and Faisal is fed and getting resets at this point. But from here, I mean, this just doesn't connect from Faisal. Like, Philip barely lives. Toasty has the Seekers in, and then play this out really nice on the back half. The DPS, it goes down to Ray. He rended one auto too early. Lens barely lives. The sidestep there from Lens so clean as well. Also, Toasty, Fear, they balanced out their health bars really well there, Fear. I really liked how they spaced that within the team.
Tiny little moment there. Diamond hand shook Toasty out of the sweet spot Q3 from Faisal. If that had landed, there's a chance that Toasty dies there and then can't throw the shield onto Lens, can't throw out that last bit of damage. Really close margins in that fight, but it is Fear that walk out with a big gold lead here. Dragon Soul point for Supernova still, so they're in a good position there, but Fear are now in a position where they're much more comfortable to actually go in and contest. And thank you, Observer. 6-1-7 for Toasty right now, having a performance. Oh, that's you, Cubby? All right. Shout out Cubby for highlighting Toasty here.
All right. Honestly, Toasty got really fed off that fight. He is going for a tankier build, which I like this game. I think that the DPS like over time from Supernova, I don't know if Kalista can get through a Zhonya's plus Leandri's, and the Leandri's burn will be rather valuable for the Orianna, who will be continuously pumping out the DPS. That was a great fight. That was a really fun fight from our two teams there around the Dragon. Toasty, big benefactor in the back half. And really with Fear, it's just about playing around these circles. It really feels like the game is just kind of boiling down to that.
The classic circle comps, everybody.
Yeah. Just
Sometimes
Ori,
it's good to go
Wukong,
back to
Rakan.
basics.
Yeah.
Orianna's got a kind of a circle, right?
Yeah.
A sphere.
Yeah.
3D circle.
Yeah, multiple circles if you think about it. Dissonance, ults, the ball itself.
Well, isn't it all just kind of the ball in a way?
It's all balanced as it should be. This is Orianna. One of the best champs ever made in this game. One of the most balanced champs ever made in this game.
I love Orianna just as a concept. It's like, I'm a champion, but I'm not. Yeah. I don't really do anything. Like my model, I just control this ball that does everything.
Ori for me is like one of the champs that really makes League as Toasty.
Okay.
Hunt.
Speaking of, we're making bot lane dead here as Toasty just starts it off himself, has a backup of Daption to guarantee the kill. Chad could be in some trouble here. Arctic Assault forward. We get the stun now. Chad pops ultimate to get the movement speed and get away from the fight. For a re-engage? This is kind of crazy, Chad. The team's coming up behind him, but he's going to take a lot of damage initially. Teleport in. Big face shield from Shochi. As now Diamond throws out the ultimate himself. Chad sells to the backline, looking at Diamond. Has the backup, but at Faisal behind him. Chad's going to go down. Can Faisal carry the fight? Aatrox is in there. Philip is low. Flashes away. Toasty still alive. Lens still alive. And Faisal does not fancy himself taking the 1v2 against the damage dealers of Fear.
Honestly, a really messy fight, given that Supernova was in the 4v5. I think that's okay. Fear will be the ones that reset first to get priority over this Dragon. His Soul about to be on the map. Ocean Soul doesn't matter that much for Supernova. These fights are going to be a little bit longer, but I think that Fear can execute to make sure they can take members away before Ocean Soul can really kick in. Let's take a second look at this one. Chad knows he has a numbers advantage, right? And there's no ult here from Kenby because if it's thrown, Chad just W's and gets out, right? So Kenby showing some patience. Chad re-engaging a bit early before his team's there, given where Men's at. So it's 1v3. Holds the W, gets a lot of healing back. And this start from Shochi is honestly good. Like, it's a good bailout. Like, Toasty's kind of being held in place. Shochi does some work. It just wasn't fast enough to really make sure that Supernova could get anything significant out. And they were, of course, down a person as well.
Back to live, though. We're fighting over the Dragon right as it's spawning. Supernova, this is their sole point. They really want this one. Good trade. He's got a big health bar. It's hard for everybody to commit onto him, but there's no turret for them to fall back on, and currently Fear control the approach.
Well done, Toasty. This is really good from Toasty and Philip. I really like how they're just holding the line. As they know they have to approach through bot. This Dragon's dead now.
Oh, the shockwave! Yeah, Kenby just gets melted right there. Straight onto the back line goes Philip as Array is in a lot of trouble. Shochi's trying to keep him alive. Shochi does. Now gets snapped back. He will fall. Double kill to Toasty, but kept the AD carry up. Supernova, though, they don't have an escape path. They don't have a turret in the bot side, so the best they can do is clear the wave, as Array will surely fall to Lens. No outplay there. Lens is dominating.
Man, I mean, I think that Chad went down thinking that Philip was going to follow him. Philip was playing to shut down Shochi, which I think was right. Besides that little split, everything from Fear there was really clean. And, TP coming in on the Faisal. If they get this, it could be Baron.
World Enders popped. Faisal still had the ultimate available, but there you go. Philip jumps away from the sweet spots. Toasty can just wait out the ultimate. Keep slowing Faisal. Does have flash available, so Faisal should get out of there just fine. Yeah, he is.
I think if they find the first QW there, if that connects, maybe you can chase down the Aatrox. That missed, though, from Toasty, so no play. Baron now going to be the target to at least focus down.
Action here.
Action almost has ult back, and he has flash, so if I still approach this wave, there will be an opening.
Kenby's hovering, so is Diamond. More members around here from the side of Supernova, and now we actually see Daption complete the back, so Toasty could be in trouble. Although now
he's got a ward, he knows he's safe.
Yeah, Kenby's no longer hovering, so Toasty does feel confident to walk up, but there's still a lot of people here. Philip will watch the flank, but that's only one Wukong. Supernova aren't actually committing to the fight, though. Oh, now they're going to go in. Flash away from Toasty, and the ultimate from Kenby goes very wide. Now they're turning their attention on the Philip. Wukong hasn't pressed R yet, finally gets it off, but he's really low. He's going to fall to Array. Shut down for the Kalista.
This game's devolving a bit. Genghis is getting a little weird.
Getting wacky.
Yeah, Philip just, I mean, he didn't get his ult down before he got locked up by Sejuani. That's a numbers advantage for Supernova. Toasty importantly has
Faisal's
ult,
got ult
but
again.
he's focused right now.
Oh, we're trying to engage. Good handshake from Diamond right there. Hostile takeover still available as well. Watch for that one. Here it comes. Not going to land on anybody big. Kenby's already down. Faisal's in trouble too. Faisal's just going to get popped.
Lens.
He's trying to drain tank through it. Shoshi in
Lens.
there. Big knockup from Daption onto all three members and a double kill to Chad. Diamond, the last remaining member for Supernova, but not for long. Will fall. That's a team fight win for Fear, and that is Barrett.
Lens was untouched that fight and did so much work in the backline as it was a full melee comp into Xayah Rakan that was picked early, Kangas. And that Xayah, it's doing work.
Xayah's pumping out damage. Toasty is unkillable. As the Baron buff's picked up, 11-1 and 13 for Toasty, 8-0-9 for Lens. Let's get another look at how the carries approach this fight.
It's a great handshake, but Lens isolates Kenby with Daption, and then barely dodges out from Shoji here. And Fear completely turned this fight around to fight front to back with Lens. Like, they get from one side of the pit to the other, and Lens continues to auto-attack, not pressured the entire time. Lens has a great fight, man. This is really good tape for Lens. He's just untouched, right? And he is just focus firing down on the right targets, right? Take the jungler out first. It's a Baron fight. Take the smite away. And then from there, completely shifted the fight to focus down the Aatrox, got him out and cleaned it up in the end. That's really good stuff from Fear, how they played around their carries there.
Everybody was using their cooldowns to try and get the pick onto Toasty earlier. We didn't have the Sejuani ultimate. We didn't have Shochi ultimate. There were a lot of tools that were missing, or at least, you know, initial like flash engages. But at the end of the fight, Fear walk out victorious. They've delayed the Dragon stacking. They have a decent goal. I mean, I say decent goal lead. That's a monstrous goal lead. 8.4 thousand in their pocket in the lead right now over Supernova as we have a minute till that next Dragon.
I mean, both their carries, right? And Uri, Xayah, they love when teams have to jump into them. Supernova just didn't get far ahead enough in this one. And I think even with an Ocean Soul, it just doesn't matter at this point. I really favor Fear where they're at. I think their scaling's better. And the Baron makes sure that, you know, you can't fight side lanes. As Supernova kind of kept on opting into team fights, never really tried to find the skirmishes with Sejuani Yone on sides. I think this game devolved a little bit. And with it being faster, Fear, they forced the groupings with Rengar and it really paid off.
Speaking of Rengar, it looked like Supernova were thinking of a hard engage onto Chad right there. Do not pull the trigger, though, so Fear will just get the bottom inhibitor. Tier 2 outer turret. As they now look to start sieging here. Kenby gets locked down, knocked up. He is supposed to be a frontline, supposed to be a tank. Shochi, supposed to get onto the back line, not able to pull that one off either. A double kill to Lens. Triple kill. Is this going to be another one? Oh, Philip! Come on, man. That was a pentakill waiting to happen. But either way, that's going to be a series win for Cincinnati Fear. With the Baron buff, with only Faisal left, there's just no shot that they can defend these turrets. Well executed by the mid and bot lanes of Fear. 11-0 and 10 for Lens. What a performance as they will take the series.
Man, Lens and Daption, the two games that they won really had good games. I mean, Lens turning around that bot side that was like super wayward from Supernova.
Yeah.
Kind of felt like the start of Fear getting back into this. And I think Fear, they can build a lot of confidence out of the two games they won. We came into this series being like, hey, is Supernova, you know, solidly a top 3 team, or can Fear kind of, you know, try and combat them? Supernova, they dropped the series now against a non-top 3 team. Second series loss. Fear makes some space between themselves and fourth here. And I think not just on the, you know, standings and the scoreboard, I think that gameplay wise, they can take some confidence out of these games. You know, I felt like games 1 and 3 were good looks from Fear.
It's moments like that where not only are you performing at such a high level, but you're against a team like Supernova, one of the top teams in the league. There's a reason we have our most valuable prospect voting at the very end of the split, because these late season surges, Lens, like, if he can string together performances like that, like,
high-key,
that's
Lens
crazy.
has been good, man. I think high-key Lens is having a good split, but man, those were 2 really standout games from him and against good competition in the Ray and Diamond. So a lot of positives for Fear from that game, and a really solid 2-1 from them and the boys. I just can't wait to see what degenerate stuff they put up on Twitter for this win, you know?
True. Well, I can't wait to hear from the victorious member as we'll have Daption on the other side of this break for an interview.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.
Hello and welcome back, everybody. We have an interview lined up with the victorious support from Cincinnati Fear, Daption. First off, Daption, congratulations on the win, even if you did continue the streak of dropping a game in every series win that you pick up. I had to slide it in there. I had to slide it in.
I mean, yeah, we know it too. Like every time we play a series, we're like, is this gonna be our first 2-0? Or yeah, I mean, eventually we're gonna win 2-0, I think.
One day.
Well, hey, I respect you guys playing for content, and I know that, you know, some of you had to bring your A game. I heard that game 1, behind the scenes, Toasty was actually playing in a suit. Do you want to, you know, kind of go into this or anything? Did you know about this on the team side?
I mean, honestly, I have no idea. He didn't show us, but I think he had a presentation at school. You know, Toasty's a high schooler, so he like goes to school, has a presentation, then comes here and wins a series. Pretty crazy guy.
Wear a suit?
Yeah, he didn't have time to change. Yeah,
I guess so.
It used to happen.
Incredible.
You know, dress up for high school. It's cool.
Back in my day.
Back in my day, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, maybe that got you the first win. Maybe he should have kept the suit on. Did he put the suit back on for game 3? Do you know?
No idea. All I know is that we were all breathing hard.
We were told by our production that like Toasty was in a suit. I thought for sure you guys knew. I was gonna surprise you with this one.
I mean, he didn't show us, so I don't really know. I don't have the evidence.
He's holding out on the boys. Come on.
Yeah, literally. How could he?
Well, speaking of mid laners, you were able to topple Shochi on the other side there, so congratulations on that. But I want to ask you, because I know that you and Shochi have a little bit of history, maybe a little friendship, a little banter going on, and he had some reactions to some of the plays in that series, right?
Yeah, there was a certain 3v3 where he ended up like kind of outplaying. I think we also made a mistake. Max ended up dying in their turret, and then he got 2 kills out of it. He just started spam question mark pinging, like his life depended on it, and then, you know, Diamond had to calm him down, you know. So yeah,
I love how the game just ended. It feels like you're talking about like you were in Supernova comms and you just know, which is kind of how you know that things are close behind the scenes.
I mean,
hey, I want to give you and then some praise. I think you guys have been playing really well this split. You showed up, Ray and Diamond. That's good competition in the bot lane. You got the best of them in this best of 3. Where do you kind of feel like you guys stack in terms of bot lanes? Because I think that you've really started to make a case that you're one of the stronger bot lanes that we have in Challengers League.
I mean, this is gonna be really egotistical, but I honestly think me and Lens are the best bot lane. And like, this isn't like Shogo saying that he's the best in LCS OQs. I genuinely, I think, and I know I have evidence, like, the enemy bot lanes, they're nothing to me, you know? So, honestly, I'm really excited to verse. I'm really excited to verse everybody in NDCL, and I'm sure Lens is also really excited.
I can tell that some of Shogo has rubbed off on you, whether you like it or not. But I appreciate that you at least made sure that he caught a stray, you know?
Also, that's bold words from the support who kept leaving his AD carry to get 1v2s back to back to back. So
yeah,
that is true.
Interesting.
He's just too good, I guess, you know?
I should have called it. You're right, man. You're right.
Yeah. Well, okay, I want to put you on the spot. This is the final question we have for you before we let you get going. Who's the biggest competition then in terms of the bot lane?
Oh God, if I think about it, probably it's
Jerry
probably
Zyko?
Diamond. No, it's probably Diamond and Ray, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, you just toppled them, so there we go. You just proved it. You
I'm
are, in
serious.
fact, the best in the bot lane. Thank you so much for coming in here, Daption, chatting with us. And congratulations
Keep
on
it
the
up,
win
man.
yet again.
Yeah,
Best of
I
luck going into your prep. We're going to send it to a short break here before we come back for the final series of the day. We'll see you there.
Yeah.
They said it couldn't be done. They said the world would never accept a cookie this long. Or a churro, and probably not a pretzel either. They also said, under no circumstances should those really long and delicious treats be wildly affordable. To which we said, but we already made them. And they are. Introducing the incredible new foot-long sidekicks. Get one at Subway today.